of Hindi University. In this session, we'll be learning about a new verb and how to use it, in different scenarios. For this particular class, we will be taking a very popular song from John Lennon, and the song is Imagine. So as you can imagine, throughout this class, we'll be learning about how to use a verb called to think or to imagine and how to use it in different scenarios. Okay, so just give me a quick minute and we'll get started here. So since this is kind of a new verb, I'll be taking various scenarios, various tenses, and other scenarios also on how to use this sentence called or this verb called to think or to imagine, right? So the first one is, to write it down, it's imagine. And when we say imagine, it's like to think or like, to sort of to dream, right? To think, we have learned about a word, right? Sochna, right? Sochna. The way you write it is you write it sir with O, then you write it ch, and then there's a na with a, Sochna, right? And also there's another one because it's imagine, there's also, you can also say kalpana karna. Kalpana karna, right? So kalpana karna is also, it's imagine. So ka with half la, pa, na with a, and then karna. Kalpana karna. Okay, so to repeat, we're learning a new verb and how to use it in different situations. And the verb is imagine, and you can think of it as like to think or to dream. And the two, Hindi words that we have is sochna, and that's how you write in Devanagari, or kalpana karna. You write it as kalpana karna. Okay, so first we will understand the basic usage of of imagine, and then gradually we will learn the advanced you know cases. Okay, and so if I were to write it again, imagine, it's a transitive verb. When I say transitive verb, object is receiving the action of the verb. Okay, and when you're using it in the past tense, you will be using ne with the pronoun. So we'll learn into the examples as well. So the first one, the very simple sentence you will have is I imagine. Now that you know the Hindi verb sochna, it's to think. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to see if you can, based on your earlier understanding of Hindi, uh, can you write down how do we say I imagine in Hindi? So just take few seconds and then write down on the chat box. How do you say I imagine in Hindi? Okay, very good. What about if you're a female? Okay, so as you rightly pointed out, for a male, it's मैं सोचता हूँ. It's present indefinite. So for मैं, you'll remove na and you'll replace with ta. मैं सोचता हूँ. Or a female, it would be मैं सोचती हूँ. मैं सोचती हूँ. I imagine. Okay, so let's keep going, and I'll give you more quiz to work on. Give me a quick minute. Okay, so so since we have some more people who joined in the last 5 minutes, I'll give you some more examples of present indefinite. So what if it is he imagines and they imagine? How do you say these two in Hindi? So again, I'll give you 10 seconds quickly. If you can think of how will you write these two in Hindi. The first one is he imagines, and you know how what he is called in Hindi, okay? And you also know what they is called in Hindi. If not, I'll quickly give you the recap of it. Okay, okay, very good. Okay, so it's because it's वह is a male here. He is a male here. It will be वह सोचता है और वह कल्पना करता है because there was another word that we learned is कल्पना करना, right? And then if it is a female or a girl, it will be वह सोचती है for a female. They imagine it's वे, they is वे, so it's वे सोचते हैं, वे सोचते हैं. Good. So I hope the present indefinite part is clear for this verb. Now we'll move to the next part of this, how to use this verb imagine in other scenarios. Okay. As you can probably, imagine that by the end of this class, you'll have enough tools to translate the song of John Lennon, Imagine, into Hindi. At least if you don't know it word by word, you will have enough understanding of it on how to use this verb. Okay. So that was case one. Now let's do case two. That would be uh, present continuous. And that's also a quick recap of all the tenses that we have learned so far, right? Um, I am imagining. Okay. Um, Both for male and female. So first, let's go over it. I'll give you 10 seconds so that way, if you can, if you remember how to use present continuous, you can sort of jog your memory. After that, I'll give you the answer. So let's have 10 seconds. Okay. As you can see that it's ing, that means that I am imagining right now in this moment, right? Perfect. So I have pretty much all the answers. So for a male, it will be मैं सोच रहा हूँ. So सोचना becomes सोच रहा. So whenever you have present continuous, you have raha, rahi, and rahe. If you remember it, right? For a male, that's मैं सोच रहा हूँ. For a female, it's मैं सोच रही हूँ. मैं सोच रही हूँ. Okay. And if you want to see the Devanagari part, it's मैं for a male, मैं सोच रहा हूँ. For a female, it's मैं सोच रही हूँ. Yeah. Um, I mean, you can write rahi because I'm writing in Roman Agri, it can be a little different, but you can write it as rahi as मैं रही हूँ. मैं सोच रही हूँ. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Let's keep going on the present continuous because there are many scenarios. So, so in this one, I'll give you a quick little more quiz. Okay, so in this case, now I'll give you. We are imagining, and you are. Okay, let me make it a little bit interesting. What are you thinking or imagining? Okay, so your task is to write down these two in Hindi. I think this for first one should be very straightforward. The second one, give it your try. If not, we will, go over the answers. Okay. Perfect. I'm already getting some answers. Anybody else? All right. So let's keep going to the answers. Um, as you rightly pointed out, the first one is हम हम सोच रहे हैं. Okay, because this plural, हम सोच रहे हैं. Okay, and this one, what are you thinking, right? If you're writing a formal you, it's आप So let's say the simplest way would be you are thinking. आप सोच रहे हैं. आप सोच रहे हैं. Right? Now you want to say what are you thinking? Right? That would be आप क्या. To remove it. So that's, and if you write आप क्या सोच रहे हैं. आप, and you'll write it half curve with year, yeah. आप क्या सोच रहे, आप क्या सोच रहे हैं. Okay. Very good. आप क्या सोच रहे हैं. Now let's say you want to use the same आप. So this one was formal आप. Now there are two other informal आप or informal you. Do you recall those two? First one is तुम. The second one is तू. So you have तुम and then you have a tu. Now the next one is like the same sentence if you were to write it using informal you. What will be your sentence? So write down the same sentence using tum and tu. Okay. Keep trying, everyone. Okay. There's no negative marks. You know, that's the best way to learn Hindi, in my opinion. If you keep trying it, and that way you'll you know you'll make sure that at the end of the day you know the correct answer. Okay, very good. So when you're saying tum, it's a little bit different. It will be tum क्या सोच रहे हो. तुम क्या सोच रहे हो. Okay. When you're writing it for tu, it would be tu क्या सोच रहा है. तू क्या सोच रहा है. Okay. I'll write down both of them in Devanagari as well, so you can practice those two scenarios as well. But just to recall, or just to um, repeat it, remember we use hai versus hai in the end. So when it is singular, you use hai, just hai. When it is plural, you use hai. In the past, I didn't make it very clear because we were doing very basic sessions in the past, in the very earlier classes. But whenever you have plural, you will use nasalized sound, right? When you're simply saying it for a singular one, you will have hai. Okay, so let me write down these two in the Devanagari script, and then I'll take any questions you may have on case two. So the first one is this one. तुम क्या सोच रहे हो. So this is तुम क्या सोच रहे हो. Second one is तू क्या सोच रहा है. तू क्या सोच रहा है. Okay. So keep going. If you have any questions, I'll take it on this particular scenario. Why would you- Um, so the question is why, okay, so the question is why we use for the, uh, for the informal one, you use raha and versus rahe. So, so the answer here is like whenever you are, when you're being informal or you're being intimate in this case, if you know someone, if you're a close friend, you want to treat them as like a single person basically, right? A singular sense, right? क्या कर रहा है, right? Versus like if you want to give respect, you all of a sudden you're thinking in terms of aap, right? Because for aap you said rahe, right? For he or she it's raha or rahi, right? So there's no like a fixed rule here, but it's pretty much like whenever you want to be more respectful, you think in terms of aap, right? And for aap you will use rahe, right? And tum is a little bit more moderate, right? You are not like it's informal, but it's still like a little bit more respectful. That's why we're using rahe. Whereas tu is completely like he or she. So you either you know the person really well, they work for you, or you know them so well that you feel comfortable telling them tu kya kar raha hai, right? So some of my close friends, I will just go by like tu kya kar raha hai, right? I mean because I know them and they know me, they will also refer to me like this, right? So if you're meeting someone for the first time, you want to be a little bit more respectful till So then in that case, you'll be aap kya kar rahe hain. So, rahe. So let's keep going. Now, case three will be a little bit interesting one. Right? Uh, Case three is, you have past indefinite. Right? So I'm not gonna. I mean, I can simply say there are two ways to do that. Right? One is I used to imagine, and the second one is I imagine. So this one is a bit simple probably. This one is a bit tricky. So uh, let me give you some time, like 10 seconds, to see if you can, if you remember how to, say them in Hindi. If not, we will go one by one. So take your time and then, we'll go over the answers. Okay, very good. So first one is probably simple. What about the second one? Okay, wow, very good. Yon, you are doing really well. So if you remember, imagine I mentioned is a It's a transitive verb. Okay, so the first one, it's simple, right? I used to imagine, right? It simply means like in the present you said मैं सोचता. In the present you said मैं सोचता हूँ. In this one you will simply replace whom with था. That's it. And you will say मैं सोचता था. It means I used to think or I used to imagine. Simple, right? The second one is, let me remove. I hope you were able to write it. मैं सोचता था और मैं सोचती थी for a girl. Okay. So for मैं it's था or थी. When you're saying आप, then it's थे. So I'll do an exercise also so you'll know. So now let's just focus on the second part, which is I imagined. I imagined. And because it's a transitive verb, you will use subject plus in the past tense you will use ne, a postposition, right? And the verb becomes, in this case, the verb is sochna. It becomes, you will remove n and you will simply say socha, right? So you have मैं here, which is your subject, and then ne, and then socha. So it will be मैंने सोचा. मैंने सोचा. I imagined. And the way you write it in Devanagari is मैं, मैंने, make it one word, सोचा. मैंने सोचा. Okay. Again, just to remind you, this is the postposition name, and it's a property of all the transitive verbs that when you use them in past indefinite tense, as I imagine, you will put, you know, with the subject you will put ne, मैंने सोचा, and if you have trouble thinking about what is a transitive verb, right? Whenever you can frame a question with what and who, those are sort of transitive verbs. So in this case, I can frame a question: what did you imagine, or what did you think, or who do you think, right? Uh, Most likely, these are transitive verbs. Whenever you can frame a question using the verb with what and who, right? Um, and to give you a negative example, if I say I walk on the street, right? So I cannot make like a question of this sentence using what and who. I can probably make it as like where did you go or where did you walk, right? So this give me an impression that this is like an intransitive verb. Basically, the object is not receiving the action of the verb. Whereas, like in this case, if you say मैंने आपको सोचा और आपके बारे में सोचा, आपके बारे में about you, right? So in this case, when you say मैंने आपके बारे में सोचा, the object is directly receiving the action of the verb, right? That's why it's socha or sochna is a transitive verb. Okay, so I'll not go over the rules. So quick quiz on past indefinite. That way it will give you some more practice, right? So this time I'll say he imagined, and then you can simply come up with any sentence here. It can be anything. He imagined, she imagined, and she imagined. You can say anything, right? You know, like the rainbow has, let's say something absurd. Rainbow has, uh, infinite colors or many colors, more than let's say seven. So your question is like, write both of them down in Hindi, and after that, if you want to make a fancy sentence, you can pretty much have some more after that. Good going. Let's see. What about everyone? What do you think? Okay. So it was a tricky question. For both of them, it will be usne socha. So so remember, your verb is, sorry, not verb. Your subject is where, both of them, both the cases, right? And after that, because it's past indefinite, right? And it's a transitive verb, you know that there will be a ne, right? A postposition. And after that, you have a form of sochna, right? And you know that whenever you have vah plus ne, that would be, as some of you rightly pointed out, usne, usne. And in the past, it would be socha, usne socha, usne socha. Okay, and you will say उसने सोचा, उसने सोचा. Okay, उसने सोचा. Now, even for girl, you don't change the form from socha to sochi. So it's for both male and female. It means उसने सोचा for both male and female. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So now I'll make it a little bit more interesting. Um, I'll make a complete sentence out of it. So they imagined that uh, let's say Mary is not coming to the party. So I'll give you some time to break it down and write down the entire sentence in Hindi. So as you can see that there is a past indefinite here, there is a present continuous here. Okay, so I'll give you some time so that way you can, you know, try it. Yawn. It should be very simple. They imagine, right? So that should be very straightforward for you to break it down. Even if you're not able to do the entire sentence, do it in parts, and that should be fun. Okay, very good. So let's simplify it. So Mary is not coming to the party. That should be straightforward. Is present continuous. So Mary party may So when you say Mary is coming to the party, Mary party में आ रही है. Ana is the verb here. To come is ana, and present continuous is आ रहा आ रही. Right? Mary party में आ रही है. But when you say नहीं, not, it will be Mary party में नहीं आ रही है. मेरी पार्टी में नहीं आ रही है. Right? Now you have they imagined, right? So they is way, and because it's past indefinite, it will be way plus ne. Way plus ne is equal to उन्होंने. So it will be उन्होंने, and now imagine it would be सोचा. उन्होंने सोचा. Okay, उन्होंने सोचा that. And that is like a sort of like, combining these two sentences. Essentially, there are two sentences, one, and then the second one is this one. And that is sort of like, combining these two sentences. So in that case, it will be उन्होंने सोचा कि मैरी पार्टी में नहीं आ रही है. Right? Straightforward. उन्होंने सोचा कि मैरी पार्टी में नहीं आ रही है. So let me write that down in Devanagari, so that way you will learn that as well. So you will say उन्होंने सोचा कि मैरी पार्टी में नहीं आ रही है. And if you don't know the Devanagari script, please, that's fine as well. As long as you can sort of like remember from the Romanagari script. उन्होंने सोचा कि मैरी पार्टी में नहीं आ रही है. So I hope that is helpful. Now we can jump to the next part of it, uh, you know, which is case 4. Case 4 will be very straightforward for you. There will, it's not like very complicated. So case 4 is past continuous. And it's simple, right? I mean, it's past. When you say past continuous, was like basically anything um, was not coming or was not. Um, Let me write it down again so that very simple. So, so think about the same example that we did just now, and you change it into past indefinite. Mary was not coming to the party. That is the past, you know, uh, past continuous sentences, right? And if you want to say the same sentence, like using not exactly same sentence, but if you want to say a past continuous sentence using the verb, our main verb of this topic today, imagine Mary was not thinking or imagining. Okay, that's past continuous. So I'm going to give you again some time so that way you can come up with the answer first. How will you say this sentence in Hindi? And that should be straightforward because all you have to do is you have to do it in present continuous and change the ending of it from hai to tha, thi or the. Okay, very good. Now, this is, you know, just to remind you, ne is only used in past indefinite and past perfect tense, right? You do not use ne in all the past scenarios. So this, we'll go over the answer, but I just want to, yeah, good going. Anyone else? Awesome. This will be Mary was not imagining. Mary सोच नहीं रही थी. The first one, you pretty much got it. Mary was not coming to the party. So Mary party में नहीं आ रही थी. So I'm gonna, because the topic is like right now imagining. So most of you got it right. Mary सोच नहीं रही थी. And the way you write it in Devanagari is it will be Mary सोच नहीं रही थी. And since most of you attempted the other one as well, that would be मेरी पार्टी में नहीं आ रही थी. You have to put may, which is the postposition here, in the party or at the event. Like party may. Good. So as I said, past continuous is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is you have to come up with the present continuous tense and then replace it with tha, thi, and the based on the subject. I want to cover, case 5 and 6, which are very important, which we have not done in the past. So I want to spend some time there as well. So those will be present perfect or past perfect. So present perfect is like when you have he has imagined or we have imagined. When you have has and have, right? Whereas past perfect is where you have had. He had imagined or we had imagined. Something that has already been completed or something that had completed in the past. How do you say those in Hindi? So we have not covered it in the past, so I'll break it down for you. So first let's talk about what do we mean by that? Has imagined or has eaten, right? Has imagined, has spoken, right? How do we say that, right? So in this case, it would be to eat is khana. To eat is khana. But when you say has eaten, it would be liya, kha liya, right? When you say imagine is sochna, right? But when you say has imagined, it's soch liya, soch liya. To speak is bolna, right? To speak is bolna. But when you say has spoken, it would be bol diya. Let me give you some more examples. Has written. To write is likhna, right? But when you say has written, it would be diya, likh diya, right? Uh, has taken, and to take is lena, but has taken would be le, liya, and has given. To give is dena, right? मैं गिफ्ट देता हूँ. um, has given would be दे दिया. So I hope you are now getting a grasp of where I'm trying to go. So I hope these examples are clear. I want you to take some more words, and I don't want to go too much into rules, but it is a bit complicated, and there will be some like corner cases around here where things will change. But don't panic. At least we have some structure in front of us. You know, now if we were to go back to our original sentence, he has imagined. You want to give it a try? Okay, very good. So it's वह, which is he or she, plus ne, plus here has imagined it, सोच लिया, and then towards the end you'll put है, right? So वह plus ने is उसने सोच लिया है, उसने सोच लिया है. You write it as उसने सोच उसने सोच लिया है. उसने सोच लिया है. Um, now, if you were to do the same sentence with they have imagined, in that case it would be वे plus ने, that would be उन्होंने. उन्होंने सोच लिया है. उन्होंने सोच लिया है. Now, it's a very good question when to use liya and versus diya. And I want you to hold on to that question. It requires a very good discussion, and I don't want to rush it too fast. So let's plan for the next class that we cover in detail when to use liya versus when to use diya. Very good question. It will require a good discussion and some more exercises. So I'll definitely cover it in the next class because we don't have much time left. I know Lena and Dena are very difficult, and I completely aware of it. We'll do a proper class on both of them. Okay. As of now, I want to make sure that I complete, this particular scenario they have imagined. And now, um, let's do the case 5 of past perfect. This will be rather straightforward. Um, they had imagined, and second one I had was he had, or let's say this time we had she had imagined. So this will be pretty similar to the present perfect one. You will say for she had imagined, you will say उसने सोच लिया था. उसने सोच लिया था. And in this case, उन्होंने सोच लिया था. ओके, उन्होंने सोच लिया था. I have some more time left and I want to do some cool usage of that. Case 6, how to use models. So when you say I can imagine, I can imagine, or I can't even imagine. I mean, you use these two quite often, right? Whenever you are surprised or when you want to, make a conversation with someone. How do you say that? Very good, right? So as you rightly, you're thinking in the right direction. When you say I can imagine, it would be मैं सोच for a male it's सकता हूँ, for a female it would be मैं सोच सकती हूँ, right? सकता for a male, सकती for a female, right? मैं सोच सकता हूँ और मैं सोच सकती हूँ. Okay. Now this one is clear, right? I can imagine. मैं सोच सकता हूँ. What about this one? I can't even imagine. I think you start with this one. I can't imagine, and then we'll figure out how to say even. I can't imagine. Okay, very good. मैं नहीं सोच सकती और मैं सोच नहीं सकती. Okay, and when you say even, I can't even imagine. You're emphasizing it, right? So you will use a keyword called be, right? So you will say मैं सोच भी keyword सोच भी नहीं सकता. मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता. For a male, for a female it would be मैं सोच भी नहीं सकती. So somebody has done something and you trust them so well and you want to say that I can't even imagine that you've done this, right? So in that case you say मैं सोच भी नहीं सकती कि तुमने यह किया, that you have done this thing, right? Or you say मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता that you didn't come to the class, right? So I think these are very handy sentences, you know, um, for you to sort of like remember.